Hello, this is a Board Deck and Dice first play. Sorry for the noise in the background. My wife is entertaining rats. And by that I don't mean Mark and Chris. So this is Cytosis. Am I saying that right, Mark?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Why would I know?
Have you just done that?
Yes.
See, cheater, isn't he? In Cytosis is a worker placement resource management game in a body. There's the nucleus. And when we get to the man, we find the nucleus. Nacho Libra. Basically, you're going to be gathering resources, and then the really hard thing to get Mark's head round is that to fulfill these kind of cards down here, actually I haven't got any down here now, I'll show you one of mine. The one I picked up so we know, so everyone knows. So that tells you what you need to put on a kind of one of these cell tokens, and you place here and then you put some of the resources on there. Then next time you have to move it down into the Golgi apparatus, and then you can put some more resources on. Then next turn you have to pay the ATP, which I'm just calling money, to actually claim that card. So you have to go on a journey to claim the cards, unless they're certain cards which were enzymes you can just do straight off, can't you, if you've got the resources. So that enzyme costs 2 red and 2 money. But reds aren't straightforward because you'd have to turn blacks into reds and all that. And you're struggling, aren't you, already?
I've worked it out now. I've got my head around it now.
I bet he wins now. This is the kind of situation, isn't it? Kind of situation. But we as a group, probably worker placement is probably one of our most played, probably our favourite, apart from Komet, obviously.
Which is brilliant.
Brilliant, but some people are too proud. It's not worker placement. I said apart from Komet. So it's not worker placement. This is the trouble. I explain the rules to them. I get this rubbish all the time. Oh, is that how I win?
So do you get 2 if you go there?
What? Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's worker placement. It's actually not as complicated as it looks, because it is. The iconography is fantastic. Actually, it's really clear. How you feeling? Too close to Mark there.
Confident-ish.
Oh. Okay.
I've worked it out now, and it's quite simple. The only way to score points is this.
And you think the fact that you've worked it out means that no one else has?
No, but it's just usually...
You can score points on these, can't you? The end game goals.
Yeah, but you still got to do these to do that.
Do you think Mark's going to win, Chris?
It would be sod's law if he did.
Yeah. You looking forward to this one?
Yeah. No, I didn't know anything about it until you mentioned it. But when I've looked at it,
I think it's got fairly good reviews. So.
Yeah, it's a nice colourful board as well.
Yeah.
I also didn't know anything about it until we started playing it.
It's not surprising. And the board's double-sided. It has another side for a virus expansion, which we're not using.
Really easy to tell the difference between them.
We're trying. No, it's exactly the same, apart from one minor difference.
A massive thing at the bottom.
We're going simple for a few games.
We're playing with Mark, so
right, we'll come back at the end. So end game.
Yeah.
What colour are you, Mark?
Green.
Oh. Well, it looks like you did really well, because you got 49 and me and Chris only got 3 and 5. Apart from we went round the whole board, so you came last.
So I was 4 points behind you, so it's pretty close. And I did say confident-ish.
Confident-ish equals last place by 4 points. I mean,
but usually it's last place by 20 points.
I was closer to Chris than you were closer to me.
Yeah.
I was twice as close.
I was close to
I'm twice as
you
close to Chris.
than Chris.
What do you think of the game?
It's pretty good. Definitely different how you have to place in that order to do stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, you can get blocked out even if there's still spaces.
Yeah, that's clever. I like the fact there's only 2 there, because Mark went there and then you had 2 in there, so I prioritised going there to stop you getting both and to get me some.
I was first player for like the last 4 rounds because everyone else had done this and I was the last person to place.
Yeah, but you still get money if you went there, so it's still, if you really want to be first player. I think
no one else went there, so
don't think it cost me an awful lot. It cost me money. I went quite money heavy, and that helped because I was the only one who used grey flasks.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have kept up if it didn't. I mean, especially at the end, that was a massive, because that got me It got me extra 3 there, plus the 4, 7. So yeah, that was the best move for me, point-wise. Because otherwise I'd have just... Well, if I hadn't done that, it would have just been resources. So I may have even been behind you if I hadn't done that.
Yeah.
Which is shocking to admit. And I like the way those work, because it's not like you place there and you get the 2, like Russian Railroad. You have to pay, but every card has a cost to complete. That's the currency, stupid things. So yeah. Yeah, and this does take, even though it's made sense to us all, I think it still took a few goes to get the how this is, because do you do it all in one go and use 3 of your workers, or do you line them up so you can? But then there was one go where I was the only one in here, so I didn't have to go there till the last 2 because you guys hadn't gone up here. As soon as you guys went up here, I was like, right, I'll move these out now. Yeah, probably took too many cards. I didn't realise. See, I shot myself in the foot as well. I didn't realise it was different sets of enzyme cards. So really, that if I'd have got that one, it would have done nothing for me because I'd already got one. And again, if I'd gone heavy on those, could have got up to 14-point bonus. I like the way these reds and blues work, where you get points off those, because you still want to do them so that you get points if someone else is going heavy on them. But to do them gives I think I gave you the most points by doing those.
You gave me 4 at one
Gave you 4 at what? Yeah, I did it early. I think if someone does one of those, you've got to try and get one out straight away as well, even if it's not your main route, because at least then you're going to be getting 2 points every time they go for it.
I should have left placing that until later.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We all placed those early to get the 3-point kicker. So we got 6 points off that. And actually, although we're jibbing Mark, he didn't place there early, so that was 6 points. And he's almost he beat me with that, if he'd have got 6 points from those. But again, then he might have got more from placing later by what cards you've done. I certainly think we should have probably been directed by those more if you'd have just gone for the reds or the two. Do you know what I mean?
Like what I did.
Yeah, but even so, I think you probably could have got more than that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got an extra protein hormone which I would have completed if it wasn't for the last bit, but I didn't need it, so I still won.
Yeah, I'm sure you cheated somehow. You always do.
Whatever.
So yeah, but I enjoyed that. Compared to other worker placement games on your first play.
It's unique in the fact that you got the linear, very, very linear sort of dimension there, and I like it. I just don't know how much I like it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I don't know if I would. I think if we played it more often, I would probably just sort of develop a tactic and just kind of go that every time. Because the event cards didn't change very much, and we had like at least two that we had 3 times, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
that came out a few times, that came out a few times. And are they the same every time, or are they different?
There's only 5 of those.
Yeah, so
there's not much variety.
The other one is
Enzymes, maybe.
Enzymes, yeah. I could have done with that one.
So there isn't much variety.
That would give me 6 points.
And there's not much variety in these, is there? It's only those 4 and enzymes, and then the
the variety comes in the what you have to put on them.
Yeah, but even that is quite limited. It's either 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah, but the colours. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It just I think if I owned it and played it a lot, I would get either bored of it, or I'd just develop a tactic and just do the same things every time. Because I don't think it's varied enough for it to matter if you do develop a tactic. I don't think it would throw
I don't know what the virus.
Yeah, maybe the other side add something.
Because you'll get player mats in the expansion, so get these. Ebola. Oh, it's just places to put your stuff, and then you've got to stay healthy against Ebola, flu, and the rhinovirus. So, don't know what that means.
I think it could be massively improved with a bit more variety here, a bit more variety there, and a bit more variety there. Well, not even really there.
Just more cards.
Just more cards, in
perhaps
there
more.
there.
I'd agree with more gold cards, more.
Although if you have more gold cards, you've got to have more ones to complete to fulfill them, unless it's a
no,
because
you could do each red thing on your complete viruses. There's plenty of scope, you know.
Yeah.
Or every card that scores 4 health or under gets an extra 2. Do you know what I mean? There's plenty of scope to do extra gold cards. That's not too difficult.
But that did seem very limited, especially if you said there's only 5.
Yeah, I'd agree with the events and the thingies being a bit limited. I don't think I agree with these being limited because I think there's enough. You know, there's enzymes.
Yeah.
There's 2 go here, 2 go here. So that's 5 different types of cards. Then they've all got variation within them. Then they've got different types of set collection and the majority.
Yeah.
I think, you know, given the complexity of this, that for me is not an issue. I would think, and I think it certainly wouldn't replace Russian Railroads for me.
No.
No, because it's different.
Lords of Waterdeep. It's probably Lords of Waterdeep is quite a good comparison because you're collecting the cubes in Lords of Waterdeep, aren't you? You don't have the extra payment, but you don't have the journey in the same way, but you are collecting cubes of different rarity. But yeah, really great theme. And certainly not a bad game. You know, we're comparing it to some of our favourite ones, but yeah.
I'd quite like to play the expansion and then see.
Yeah,
that
we'll play the expansion next time then.
Because I do think that's very limited.
Yeah.
And it could be massively improved with a few more cards, not even that many more.
I think we are spoiled in terms of worker placement games, aren't we? Between us, and ones that do different things like Raiders of the North Sea and Coal Baron and stuff like that.
I mean, once you get past the initial intimidation factor of it, it would actually be quite good for new players to learn worker placement.
Yeah.
Because of the linear thing with it.
I mean, we're saying that's quite complicated, but actually some people that's going to make a heck of a lot of sense because unlike what we said about viticulture where there's a process of getting your grapes and stuff, you don't have it's not drawn like that, is it? It's kind of based on your knowledge of...
I guess this was only weird for us because we're not used to this.
Yeah, if someone's coming new...
If you've never played stuff, that probably makes more sense because you'd have to...
And actually, again, the iconography is proper bang on.
Yeah.
Appreciate you using one of Board Deck and Dice's rating metrics, intimidation factor. Yeah, so I think, let's carry on that vein. I think I'd definitely play it again.
Play it again.
I'd recommend it to people, like we said, certain people. I think maybe to try for a heavy worker placement person if they want something that's got a quirky theme. Scientifically, it's got a little leaflet that has all the science on behind it. Would I own it? Probably not. Given all the other worker placement games I have. But again, that's nitpicking really, because if I didn't have all the other worker placement games, this is a fine game. It goes up to 5 players.
I guess it also depends on who you play with as well, because if you play with people who aren't as interested, and haven't got as wide a variety as you have, that's
not many.
That's only a third of your collection.
Maybe less than a third.
Then it would make more sense to own, I think. But given everything else,
if someone turned up with it, you wouldn't be disappointed.
No. And that's again that kind of our spoilt thing. Look at this, we're getting so in depth. Let's make it a bit more juvenile and sign off. See you later on Board Deck and Dice.